is going on, guys? Alright, so I am back with another movie review, and as you can tell, this is one of those slept-on Disney movies from the 2000s that is considered a guilty pleasure. I love this movie, and not just for the memes, because God knows this movie generated a lot of memes. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Here's my review of The Emperor's New Groove. So, Kuzco is a spoiled emperor that does not give a shit about anyone. He literally has an old man thrown out of the window because he threw off his groove. What? And he gets off on the wrong foot with Pacha, this other character, who is one of the heroes of the movie. And just watch.
Booyah! Welcome to Kuzcotopia, my ultimate summer getaway. At my birthday celebration tomorrow, I give the word, and your town will be destroyed.
Oh, believe me, it gets worse.
Where will we live?
Don't know, don't care.
Our main character, everyone. Well, we're also introduced to two other characters. Yzma, played by the late, great Eartha Kitt, and my personal favorite character of this movie, Kronk.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Yzma. Yzma's in your chair, right?
Very good, Kronk. Here, get the snack.
Got it.
Seriously, Kronk is the best character based on this scene alone. Like, seriously, anyone who debates me, put him up. Anyway, so after Yzma gets fired because she's the Emperor's advisor, she decides to go to her secret lab.
Pull the lever, Kronk.
Why does she even have that lever? Like, seriously, all these years later, it doesn't make any sense. Why does she have that lever? Anyway, so she decides to poison him, only it turns out it wasn't poison. It's an extract of llama. Turns him into a llama. Then she knocks him out. Kronk disposes of him, but then has a change of heart. And through gravity being an absolute bitch, he ends up in the cart of Pacha, who takes Kuzco, unknowingly takes Kuzco back to his village. And then when Kuzco comes to and realizes he's a llama, he decides to venture into the forest, and at one point, Pacha has to save him, leading to one of the most well-known memes from this movie.
Uh-oh.
Don't tell me. We're about to go over a huge water fountain.
Yep.
Sharp rocks at the bottom.
Most likely.
Bring it on.
Like, seriously. All these years later, it still makes me laugh. Just the deadpan delivery to bring it on. I've even used this meme template for a meme. I'm not going to show it to you because we don't have enough time. But anyway, so after some close calls, and they end up at this diner, and Yzma and Kronk happen to be there, and luckily, after they're done eating and all that, Pacha overhears Yzma saying that she wants to kill Kuzco. Kuzco doesn't realize this, and when Pacha's trying to explain to him, hey, they're actually trying to kill you, Kuzco's just like, man, the hell with you, fat man, I'm done here. And then as he's about to reveal himself as Kuzco, well, he overhears Yzma say about how much she wants him dead. And Kronk even says, well, it's not like anyone really cares that he's gone. Because, yeah, he was an asshole. He threw an old man out the frickin' window. And then later that night, it also leads to this meme that I swear I've seen a million people mouth
The peasant
along.
who I saw leaving the city, who disappeared into the crowd with Cusco in the back of his cart. He must have taken him back to his village, so if we find the village, we find him, and if we find him, we find Cusco.
Good job, Kronk.
Yzma!
It's Frankenstein! Next morning, Pacha meets up with Cusco after Cusco had stormed off, and they go to Pacha's village to inform Pacha's family of what's going on. And at one point, Kronk actually spends time with the kids and actually bonds with them because he's a great freaking guy. And then he still ends up locked in a closet with Yzma as Cusco and Pacha have Pacha's family distract the two of them so that Pacha and Cusco could sneak off and get a head start to the palace. And well, it leads to this. It leads to this. Honestly, I'm glad that it taught me a grammar lesson.
Tell us where the talking llama is, and we'll burn your house to the ground.
Don't you mean or?
Tell us where the talking llama is, or we'll burn your house to the ground.
Or I'll start making cat puns. After they, break out, all of a sudden it's game time. Both duos rush to the palace, and it all leads to, honestly, a moment that I swear it's like Disney doesn't really give a shit at this point in the movie.
How did you get back here before us?
How did we, Kronk?
Well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
Like, seriously, they stopped caring to the point where they broke the fourth wall. That usually never happens in these movies. And well, later on in an argument, Yzma goes over the edge, but I'll save that for a later segment. And so Pacha and Cusco grab all these vials, and they don't know which one turns them into what. At one point, it turns them into a whale. At one point, it turns them into a parrot. At one point, it turns them back into a llama. And then, as they're basically battling Yzma right outside the palace, like on top, like on the side of the palace, she gets turned into, well...
Is that my voice? Is that my voice?
Fun fact, that was Eartha Kitt's legitimate reaction, but the animators thought it was hilarious, so they kept it in. And can we acknowledge that they turned a character played by Catwoman into a cat? I think it just had an nerdgasm. Like, seriously, that's so hilarious. Blah. Anyway, so at one point, Yzma is defeated. Cusco gets turned back into a human. And instead of building Cuscotopia, where Pacha's family lives, he builds it on a mountain right next door. And they all have this really big party, and the story ends. Honestly, this is one of my favorite Disney movies from the 2000s. And I can see where the memes come from, because it's hilarious. Definitely recommend it. Alright, Cusco is basically the selfish asshole of the movie that you're supposed to care about. And he's voiced by David Spade, which I love. I love David Spade. He's hilarious. And he's really good at playing assholes. I'm just saying. And Pacha is basically John Goodman in animation. Like, seriously. Even when he's playing a villain, you can't help but feel for him. Like, of course he doesn't play a villain in this movie, but even when he has played villains in the past, you still root for him. Why? Because he's a great man in real life, and he is such a nice man. He is a great man. I love his voice, love his acting, and honestly, this might be one of my favorite characters of his. Now, Kronk, he's obviously dim-witted, but he's also a lovable henchman. And I think him and Eartha Kitt must have been cracking each other up in the recording studio. Like, seriously, I think if Eartha Kitt were still alive today, they would be more than happy to do a sequel to this movie just to work with each other again, because they work so well together. And Eartha Kitt, like, she steals every single scene that she's in, like for real. She cannot do a bad scene in this movie. And honestly, I think she's my second favorite character of this movie, right under Kronk. Alright, so the one thing I didn't like about this movie is Yzma is way too mean to Kronk. What do I mean?
A really, really big, stupid monkey named Crap.
Watch it.
Ouch.
And do you want to know something else?
Watch it.
I've never liked your spinach puffs.
That's it. She's going down.
I'm right there with you. Alright, so my final thoughts on this movie. It is such a great movie, and it is so unbelievably funny. Like, I think they hit the jackpot with this cast. And like I said before, I think if Eartha Kitt were still alive today, if they made a sequel to this movie, I would spend money on a ticket to see it. Like, seriously, this movie is so unbelievably funny. And I'm so glad I got to review it, because it's a whole lot of fun. Well, until next time, stay positive and stay awesome, everyone. See ya.